Good morning. Call this meeting of the Fremont County Board of Commissioners to order. We'll begin this morning with our invocation by Joe Garkovich from Mercy Today Ministries, followed by our Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Let us pray. O Holy One, we thank you for another day in which to serve you. As this group gathers this morning to do this important work, I pray that you would grant them courage, compassion, and wisdom to make the best decisions for all of us who live here in Fremont County. And I'd also like to lift up all of our county employees, and I ask that you watch over them and guide them in all that they do this day. And all these prayers we send to you in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Grantham.
Here.
Commissioner Bell.
Present.
Commissioner McFall.
Present.
County Attorney Jackson.
Present.
County Manager Carochi.
Present.
P&Z Director Victoria.
Present.
You can say it now. All in our places.
Nope.
With bright, shiny faces.
That's your question.
Next item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I am unaware of any changes we need to make for today's agenda, so I move to approve as presented.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item is our consent agenda. On this consent agenda, we have a couple of signature ratifications in regard to our project out at Pathfinder, and also scheduling a public hearing for April 11th at 10 a.m. This is in regard to the proposal to change the boundaries of the county commissioner districts, the once every decade process that we undertake. We're a couple years behind on that, but there's reasons for that. But the hearing will be held on April 11th at 10 a.m.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
We move next to our administrative and informational part of our agenda with reports from our staff and elected officials, and we will begin with a report from our Budget and Finance Officer, Sean Sutton, the Sales and Use Tax Report. Mr. Sutton.
Good morning, all. How are we?
Good morning, Sean.
I like that I continue to move up the list. Thanks, Tony. Keep everybody's attention here today. So to start off, just wanted to remind people, our first couple months are typically slow here in Fremont County. So as we're looking at the budget, I don't see any concern, but you might see some negative numbers for the first time. Last year was obviously a pretty tremendous year, and this first reporting is a little bit slow. But as we build through the year, I think we'll easily catch up. So with that said, January 2023, we collected $595,851, which was $19,926 more than 2022. However, to budget, we are slightly behind at $62,478. The auto use sales tax collection, this is a makeup month as we did year-end last month. So for January, we collected $124,250, which was $8,147 more than 2022. We collected $82,933 in February, which was $20,142 less than February 2022. To date, we've collected a total of $207,183, which is $11,995 short of 2022. However, to budget, we are $11,350 over. The lodging tax report, we've collected a total of $12,632, which was $6,012 more than 2022. This is an unusual collection, obviously, with these typically being quarterly. So these remittances should have been done at the end of December and more of a makeup. The sheriff retail sales tax collection totaled $397,234, which was $13,283 more than 2022. However, to budget, we are, again, behind at $77,766. Sheriff auto use sales tax collection totaled $82,833 in January, which was $5,431 more than 2022. In February, we collected $55,288, which was $13,429 less than 2022. Year to date, we've collected a total of $138,121, which is $7,998 less than 2022. However, to budget, done a good job in this one at $4,788 ahead. So, overall, staff and I will continue to monitor these as we move forward. Again, I believe collections will start to improve as they have every year. Obviously, March through September, we have a lot more people here. Tourism obviously brings a lot of those retail sales tax collections. And again, we'll monitor these and make adjustments if needed. Questions?
I guess a quick question, Sean, just a reminder. Like on the very first slide, the retail sales tax collections and the budget line item on this on a month by month, that's not a specific to January budget line item. That's just the total year that we budgeted divided by 12.
Yes, sir. That's
Okay.
correct. Yep.
Which would explain why we're behind, because all the big months are ahead of us.
Correct.
Right, okay. And that's probably the same all the way through for the most part. All the big collection months are still ahead of us in January, February.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Sutton?
No questions, just thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Appreciate the update.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Next item on our agenda is our county manager's report. We turn to our county manager, Tony Carochi.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
So just a reminder that, once again, we will be providing a spring cleanup program in April and May at Twin Enviro Phantom Landfill. The date for the trash vouchers will be April the 10th through May 19th. We have a limited number of free vouchers that will be issued to residents for disposal of household trash, furniture, construction, debris, brush, leaves, etc. The vouchers can be picked up in room 106 at the County Administration Building beginning April the 10th. And you're limited to one voucher per address, and you will be required to have an ID. Another reminder that we will also be providing an opportunity to get rid of any unwanted electric items. We are partnering with 3R Technology Solutions to provide electronic recycling. This event will take place on April the 29th from 9 to 2 at the Fremont County Department of Human Services parking lot. The cost will be $30 per item for televisions and CRT computer monitors. All other items are free. Information for both events is posted on the Fremont County website and our Facebook. We currently have job postings for the following areas: Department of Human Services, Sheriff's Department, Noxious Weed Coordinator, and Department of Transportation. Information can be located on our county website, or you can call our HR department at 719-276-7411. And then finally, the 2022 Fremont Accountability Report has been uploaded to the Fremont County website. There's a brief explanation and a link to the report. This is a summary of all the great work that each of our county departments has done this past year, and we continue to do so.
Awesome.
That's it.
Okay. Any comments or questions for Mr. Carochi? Okay.
Just to thank you, I guess. I know he still is relatively new in his position now as county manager, and there's a very steep learning curve, but we really appreciate having you here. Thanks for the notes.
Thank you.
Now we turn to our elected officials for any updates or reports they would like to give. Who would like to
Pick me.
kick this one off? Commissioner Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple of quick things. First, I will tag on to the note Tony just made about the Fremont County Spring Cleanup Trash Vouchers. We always like to mention, in addition to that, Wholesome is doing its annual tire collection day. This is a really big thing for the county because a lot of the tires, if they don't make it to Wholesome, they make it into county road borrow ditches, they get thrown out, they can be just a complete environmental mess here in Fremont County. So we really appreciate everyone who takes advantage of this. But I'd let you know, since 2005, Wholesome has collected and recycled more than 65,000 tires here in Fremont County. That is a huge number, and that's really impressive. This year, they will be collecting tires Saturday, April 22nd at the Wholesome Portland Plant Park. They're on Highway 120. I think probably everyone knows where that's at. Starts at 8 a.m., runs until noon, open to all Fremont County residents. You must have a picture ID. Limit of 20 tires per resident, and only clean passenger tires will be accepted. So don't dig them up out of the dirt and then have them filled with dirt and take them in. They will not accept. So it's a really great event. If you have some tires you need to get rid of, please get out there. The other thing, Mr. Chair, I wanted to mention is we have talked a couple of times about the broadband feasibility study that is now underway here in Fremont County. We are partnering with our consultants, Bohannon Houston, and we received another update yesterday. We're currently performing an evaluation of current access to reliable broadband throughout, especially unincorporated Fremont County. This study also will develop recommendations for appropriate actions to improve access and reliability for those living here in the county. We need your help. We don't know where we don't have broadband, so we are dependent on our public to let us know. Specifically, we need to know the unincorporated parts of Fremont County that are not served by broadband or that do not have reliable internet access. It's a very quick 2-question survey that is available on our website with a link that you can click on our homepage. It's very easy to find. For those of you who don't have broadband and are trying to figure out how to even fill out this link, we have a paper survey available here in our offices in 106 here in the county building. We also have those same surveys available in most of our municipality city halls. They've all agreed to partner with us and try to get the word out. So we appreciate all of them. We appreciate all of you for taking part in this very, very important update. That's it for me, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner.
My turn, thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to start this off by saying not everybody is going to agree with this opinion, and that's okay.
That's all right.
We have 4 letters, so I'm speaking for us 3 commissioners up here and a lot of citizens in Fremont County. We have 4 letters up here that we're going to send off to the state, and if you've been watching the news, there's some bills progressing through the legislature pretty quickly concerning gun controls, yeah. So House Bill 168, House Bill 1219. I'll start over. House Bill 168 is concerning gun violence victims accessing to judicial system. 1219 is waiting period to deliver a firearm. Senate Bill 170 is concerning extreme risk protection order. And House Bill 1230 is prohibition of assault weapons in Colorado. We have 3 pretty strongly worded opposition letters written up here that we're going to send up there to the legislatures as well as the governor. There's so many things happening with these bills. First of all, they're not written specific at all. They're very vague. We feel that they go against our constitutional rights. We're going to continually stand up for those rights for all of us. Even if you don't agree with us, it's still your right. So we're going to continually stand up for those. We do share in the concern for gun violence. However, it's not just gun violence. It's violence in itself. And they have decided to target this tool that people are using for violence. We think there ought to be a lot more concern about mental health, and it states it in these letters. That's where a lot of these problems start, is mental health and people's whatever they're thinking. I don't know what they're thinking to be able to do this kind of stuff, but the tool that they've used In some cases are a gun, but other cases it's a vehicle. We don't ban cars because somebody goes and runs through the crowd at 20 people. I think that should apply the same for this tool. So we're gonna make sure that these get up there. I, again, implore anybody that feels the same as we do to reach out to the legislature and let them know your opinion as well, because it matters, and it does hopefully make a difference. So I appreciate that, and we're gonna just stand strong.
Okay. Any further comments?
Not from me. I'm good.
I'll just, I'll tack on just a couple ways to those letters that we're sending up there. Actually, I don't even know if I can. You start down this path, and we might be here for the next couple hours talking about how bad these bills actually are. And without any common sense, without even considering the Second Amendment aspects of these, and what kind of motivates us to write these letters to begin with. These are just badly written bills. And are not based in any sort of common sense that you would hope would be, foundational to writing legislation. These just simply aren't good legislation. The 168 in particular always kind of stands out to me because they tried to run this back in 2013 when I was up there. This is so-called concerning gun violence victims' access to the judicial system. This, in essence, gives the ability for victims of gun violence to sue gun manufacturers. This is akin to the ability to sue a manufacturer for a product that they were made, not for the misuse or not for the product's failure in some way, which is already available to people. That is already available to people to sue gun manufacturers or any manufacturer for the faulty nature of that product. This, on the other hand, is the legal ability to sue for something that actually works. That's problematic. Apply that across the board, that if you produce a product and you have the ability to be sued because it functions correctly, that's problematic in many ways. The assault weapons ban, so-called 1230, again, it's describing things that and limiting things and attachments to firearms that actually have nothing to do with the issues that they address in the bill, and so on and so forth. The waiting period is problematic. The red flag bill, the extreme risk protection order bill, all of these just rife with issues and problems, and bottom line on all of them is that they infringe on our Second Amendment rights. The other thing I want to mention, folks, and apologize for the length of time that we're taking on this, but it's kind of important. When we're talking about legislation that happens up at the state, because this affects us directly. It affects us in many ways indirectly as well. But there's another bill that maybe not affecting counties or county citizens directly quite as much. But I see the Mayor Pro Tem sitting over here, and there's a bill in particular that will be affecting municipalities. And before long, it will be affecting counties. And so this is Senate Bill 213. This is the much anticipated land use legislation that's been talked about, where the state is effectively taking over some of the land use regulatory authority that exists on the local level. It's been talked about and bantied about, and I know the counties have been involved in the conversation, and I know CML and the cities have been involved in the conversation. In this particular case, they have carved out some localities like counties, but CML and the cities, the municipalities, are square in the center of the bullseye on this one. This piece of legislation is, again, just bad. And it's the state basically saying they know better than local governments how to best use the land and how to regulate land. It takes away the ability of local governments to permit or require a change in zoning for ADUs. ADUs, accessory dwelling units. It also would prohibit the municipalities from enacting or enforcing residential occupancy limits that differ based on the relationships of the occupants of the dwelling. All of this is being done in the name of affordable housing. Well, I'm sorry, none of that will achieve more affordable housing. It will, in fact, be quite negligible, if not go the other direction, because the problems that exist that are creating the lack of affordable housing are still there, which is heavy regulatory and inefficient processes in government. One of those things that we, as commissioners, and the prior commission, which includes my predecessor, Commissioner Payne, have been working on already for years to try to streamline those processes. And I think doing a good job at it. In fact, we have a study right now talking about affordable housing and what we can do to streamline that in our own regulations. And the work of our planning and zoning director, Dan Victoria, he's going through our codes line by line. And I've seen the work, and we've got a lot coming that will help us, where we will actually be streamlining things and making things more efficient so that we can help with affordable housing. What we don't need is the state coming in with their one-size-fits-all telling us how to do it. And we stand with our municipalities against this legislation, and we hope to be able to make some dents in it and hopefully defeat it, although the prospects of that are limited. So we will continue to bring such updates and hopefully keep you aware of the legislation coming through Denver this year.
Again, just encourage everybody to get involved, pay attention to what they're doing up there and speak out to them.
Any others? Any other updates? Okay. Moving on, the time in the agenda is for citizens who wish to address the commissioners on a matter that is not scheduled on the agenda. Is there anyone in the audience that would wish to address the commission? Sir? Yes?
If I could for a moment?
You betcha.
All right. This is my first time here, so forgive me if I'm a little bit unacquainted with all the issues and items that go on during the commissioners' meetings. My name's Ron Dudley. I live up Oak Creek Grade. Many of you either know or have heard of the infamous, notorious Oak Creek Grade. Lived there about 9 years. One of the things I wanted to talk about or bring up today is Congress has passed the Transportation Infrastructure Bill, which includes a lot of money and a lot of our money. And I wanted to ask the commissioners, what role do they see in working to identify projects that would help improve our community, submit proposals, and acquire funding for our community? Recently, during their process, Alamosa was able to acquire $4.7 million for a pedestrian bridge. So there's money out there for small towns. And I feel as though this is an opportunity for our community to step up and take an active role in looking at this funding and how we, through apportionment through the state or as a committee through individual proposals, acquire funding to improve our community. And I was wondering if you could go over what your vision is, enroll would be in taking part in identifying projects, acquiring the funding, and executing the funding for our community.
Okay.
Does anybody want to address that right now? We will have you fill out a piece of paper and put your contact information on that if you could.
Okay,
And we'd love to look into that for you and get back to you on it,
okay.
if that would be okay with you.
That is fine with me. I can, if we need or want, I can also set up an appointments with the commissioners on an individual basis or as a group and talk more in depth on that if you'd like to.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Dudley, you said.
Dudley.
All right.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir, for that. Appreciate
bet.
it.
Thank you.
Are any others here that would like to address? Okay. Next item on our agenda is old business. There is none. We will move on to new business. First item on the agenda under new business is the proclamation naming April as the Fremont County Child Abuse Prevention Month with representatives from DHS, Amanda Wright-Witt, and Barry Acton from the Department of Human Services. Please come join us at the mic and take her away.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for letting us speak today. Around the month of April, you may see pinwheels planted in the community and wonder why. It's because pinwheels represent the bright childhoods that every child deserves. In 2008, Prevent Child Abuse America introduced the pinwheel as the new national symbol for child abuse prevention through Pinwheels for Prevention. Pinwheels symbolize the notions of playfulness, joy, and childhood. It serves as a reminder of the great childhoods we want for all children. The cyclical nature of the pinwheel depicts positive cycles of the love and support we want to help families create. You may also notice that we are wearing blue ribbons. In 1989, the Blue Ribbon Campaign to Prevent Child Abuse had its early beginnings as a Virginia grandmother's tribute to her grandson who died as a result of abuse. She tied a blue ribbon to the antenna of her car as a way to remember him and to alert the community to the tragedy of child abuse. The Blue Ribbon Campaign has since expanded across the country, and many wear blue ribbons each April in memory of those who have died as a result of child abuse and to bring awareness to this important cause. While the proclamation today focuses on April being Child Abuse Prevention Month, as a department, we see on a day-to-day basis how prevention is truly year-round and not just for 1 month out of the year. And with that, here's the proclamation.
Thank you, Amanda. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a serious problem affecting every segment of our community, children are key to Fremont County's future success. They are our future employees, leaders, neighbors, and will shape the future of Colorado. Whereas all children deserve to have the safe, stable, nurturing homes and communities they need to foster their healthy growth and development. Whereas positive childhood experiences build healthy families and strong communities, and everyone benefits when we all ensure that children have positive experiences and that families have the resources they need when they need them. Whereas each of us plays a role in the prevention of child abuse and neglect, we acknowledge that we must work together as a community to build awareness about child abuse and contribute to promote the social and emotional well-being of children and families. We encourage anyone concerned about the safety and well-being of any child to report it to the Fremont County Department of Human Services or 1-844 Colorado for Kids. Now, therefore, the Fremont County Commissioners, by virtue of the authority vested in this board, do hereby proclaim April 2023 Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month, and in doing so, urge all citizens to join in a national effort to raise awareness about the importance of preventing child abuse.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I got a comment, Mr. Chair.
Please.
So thank you guys for being here. Amanda said it a minute ago that we're honored to bring this proclamation forward and let people know that April is the awareness month, but it should be known all year long. I mean, it's something that's not just got a time period, day, night, it doesn't matter. So thank you guys for what you do. Thanks for bringing this forward, and thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yes, I would echo that sentiment and just say thank you. I know working with children can be heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking, but someone needs to be there to help them, to protect them. Kids really are the most fragile population segment that we have, and if we don't take care of them, then who will? It takes a village, and so I just want to say we appreciate you for everything that you do for families in our community, for the children in our community, and to just say this is one of those really important things that we need to do to take care of. So with that, Mr. Chair, I have a motion.
Please.
I move to approve this proclamation naming April as Fremont County Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded.
Turn on your mic, please.
It's been moved and seconded. And I'll just add my comments on this. Our Department of Human Services, we get to brag on them quite often in the role that they play in this, and today's no different. We like to brag on what you guys do for the children in this community. For those of us that are the hard-nosed Republican red meat kind of people, government does have a role, and it's to protect those that can't protect themselves. And you do that, and we thank you guys for the role that you play in protecting those who otherwise have no one to stand up for them. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I do have one additional invitation that I would like to extend to you guys as well as everyone in the community. Every year, the department does what we call our Living Blue Ribbon. And we get all kinds of community members, staff, just anyone and everyone that wants to come down and get their picture taken. And we make a human blue ribbon. We are doing that tomorrow at the department at 2 p.m. on the west side of the building. So anyone that is available at 2 o'clock tomorrow, I know Debbie will be there and Tony, and I appreciate that. Make sure you wear your blue. And I hope that everyone in the community comes out as well. Love to have this be the world-breaking blue ribbon.
That would be fabulous.
That's,
Yes. And it's fun too, because
Yes,
you get
it
to
is.
watch, the little,
Little drone.
the
Little
drone
drone
go
fly
up
around,
and
yeah.
buzz
Hope the wind
around.
doesn't crash.
and-
Right.
Yeah, hopefully not crash in the wind.
But thank you for your support.
Thank
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
Much appreciated. Next item on our agenda is the proclamation naming April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Representative here, Randy Hayden with Family Crisis Services.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I have to be honest and say I didn't know that I was going to be saying something, so if you could give me some
Surprise.
direction, that would be great.
Oh, by the way.
Well, why don't you just kind of address what this is and what it means for Family Crisis Services and
Okay.
sexual assault awareness.
Okay, so April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and every 68 seconds, an American is sexually assaulted, and every 9 minutes, that victim is a child. And only 25 out of 1,000 perpetrators get any prison time. So it's a very important issue in our community as well as in our country. And so we desire to, sorry, I'm a little nervous.
You're
okay.
You're
doing
perfectly
great.
fine.
We desire to support victims and believe victims, and we offer free and confidential services for them. And we also desire to seek justice for each of our victims, but also through the justice system to get better laws and that sort of thing. So,
Okay,
yeah.
that's great. I appreciate that.
Okay.
I hesitate to ask if you want to read this. We can probably read this for you if you like.
Oh, no, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm good.
Why don't you read that for us?
Okay. Thank you. Whereas April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month and calls attention to the fact that sexual violence is widespread and impacts every person in Fremont County. And whereas every day women, men, and children across Colorado suffer the pain and trauma of sexual assault upon survivors in our communities. And whereas this crime occurs far too frequently, goes unreported far too often, and leaves long-lasting physical and emotional scars. Whereas during National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we recommit ourselves to lifting the veil of secrecy and shame surrounding sexual violence, expanding support for victims, and strengthening our response. And whereas sexual violence affects individuals of all ages, backgrounds, and circumstances, and whereas as a community we share the responsibility for protecting each other from sexual assault, supporting victims when it does occur, and bringing perpetrators to justice. And whereas at every level we must work to provide necessary resources to victims of every circumstance, including medical attention, mental health services, relocation and housing assistance, and advocacy during the criminal justice process. And whereas Fremont County can come together to increase awareness about sexual violence, decrease its frequency, hold offenders accountable, support victims, and heal lives. Do I read the last part?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now therefore, let it be proclaimed by the County Commissioners of Fremont County that the month of April 2023 is hereby designated as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Fremont County, and hereby urge the community to work together to educate themselves about sexual violence prevention, to support survivors, to speak out against harmful attitudes and actions. Signed this 28th day of March 2023.
Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Any other comments from you?
I would like to point out that we have, at the end of April, our Take Back the Night event at Depot Park from 5 to 7. And basically, we honor survivors and seek to spread awareness.
When and where was that again?
It's April 27th. It's a Thursday from 5 to 7 at Depot Park.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And commissioners?
Yes, Mr. Chair, if I may. Randy, I just want to say thank you so much for being here today. We're very well acquainted with Family Crisis Services and know that the organization has been here in Fremont County for a very long time. I used to have the privilege to serve on that board, so I know a little bit about the dedication that it takes to ensure that these services go forth and move forward and continue to help victims and survivors of this type of assault. And so we just appreciate all the work that you do. And I want to say thank you so much for being here today to help draw attention to this matter.
Yeah, too, I've got a comment and then a motion, if you're ready, Mr. Chair.
Please.
My comment is, Randy, again, thanks for being here. And I appreciate, fighting for the victims and seeking justice. And then hopefully they get justice. That's the most important part. We see too often that justice doesn't come through, which is very sad and adds to the trauma. And with that, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve this proclamation naming April 2023 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Fremont County.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further comments? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thanks again, Randy. Much appreciated. Next item on our agenda is to change meeting dates for the regularly scheduled Board of Health and Board of Human Services meetings from Tuesday, May 30 to Thursday, May 25th. And the BOHS meeting, the Human Services meeting, will begin at 9 a.m. and the Board of Health meeting will begin at 9:15 a.m.
Mr. Chair, these changes are necessitated because this board will be at our Colorado Counties Incorporated Summer Conference during that time. So feeling the need to have them still in the month of May, we will back them up to the Thursday previously. So with that, I move to change the meeting dates as mentioned.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
In the same vein, item number 4, we will be changing the meeting date for our Board of County Commissioner meeting, this meeting, and the BOH and the BOHS meetings, Board of Health and Human Services meetings, from Tuesday, July 25th to Wednesday, July 26th of this year. The Board of County Commissioners will be at 9:30 Human Services at 1:15, and Board of Health at 2 p.m.
This again, Mr. Chair, is a reason that we will be returning from a conference on the Tuesday when these are normally held, so we moved them to the next day. And with that, I move to approve the changes as read.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further comments? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Now, we move to our Department of Transportation Director, Tony Adamick, to enlighten us on all the award bids that we have.
Yes. How are you guys?
Good morning.
Very good.
Good.
I say, Tony, why don't we just start on these one by one? We'll start with the aggregate chip seal program.
Okay.
And go one by one through these.
That'll work. One thing I want to mention before we go into that is February 16th, we actually solicited pricing through our vendors and also put it on our website for people to send in bid or material pricing to us. They were open publicly March 16th here at the admin building. And when we take into consideration of this, we asked for pricing at their locations and then also delivery. We look at our staffing that we have, if we have enough available. We also look at the transportation cost so that we're doing the right thing, so we're responsible with the tax money on that.
Okay.
For the aggregate chip bid for our chip seal project, our recommendation is that we award it to the aggregate source, Canyon City, Colorado, 3/4 aggregate chip rock at $18 a ton, 1/2-inch aggregate chip at $21 a ton, both to the aggregate source, and we will deliver to job sites.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
Just that I appreciate you noting that we do award these bids based on what's best for the taxpayers of Fremont County.
Yep.
We always keep an eye on financing, and we have to take a look at where our money is going. So
Right.
I just appreciate you bringing that up. And with that, Mr. Chair, I have a motion.
Please.
I move to award the bids for aggregate chip for the chip seal program this year to the aggregate source of Canyon City at 3/4-inch aggregate $18 a ton, 1/2-inch aggregate at $21 a ton, knowing that Fremont County will pick up this aggregate at the quarry.
I second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
One just comment.
Please.
Is looking through these bids, it's pretty interesting, the difference in them. Tony and I talked about it briefly earlier, but some of them are $1 or $2 higher, and some of them are up to $17 higher. So it's pretty interesting what's out there, and thanks for doing the best there, Tony.
We try.
Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
TAC oil.
Okay, TAC oil is going to be for our asphalt projects where we are doing an overlay over existing asphalt. Our recommendation is that we do the award to Suncor Energy, which is at $2.41 a gallon or $1.61 a gallon for a diluted product, and that will be picked up at their Pueblo plant, and we will deliver to the job site.
Okay.
A motion, Mr. Chair?
Please.
I move that we approve the TAC oil bid to Suncor Energy for $2.41 per gallon, $1.61 per gallon for diluted, and Fremont County Department of Transportation will deliver to the job site.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Asphalt.
Okay, the asphalt bid, this is one that we put a lot of time and effort in since there is such a big discrepancy in the price between the two bids that we had. Where our recommendation is that we award the 1/2-inch asphalt mix to Martin Marietta at $68 a ton out of their Pueblo plant, and we will deliver to our job sites.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Chair, I move to accept Tony's recommendation and to award the bid for asphalt mix to Martin Marietta at $68 a ton from the Pueblo plant, with Fremont County delivering to job sites.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Dust guard.
This here's for our dust suppressant program for our gravel roads, that we try to, what we use to keep our roads to get, hopefully to keep them together a lot better, and then also the dust down. Our recommendation is to go with Dust Guard from GMCO, their storage yard in Florence, Colorado, and it's at 81 cents a gallon, and we will apply the material to our roads.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve that recommendation for the dust suppressant and go with GMCO from their storage yard in Florence. Fremont County will apply it to the roads for 81 cents a gallon.
Second.
Okay. Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And last but not least, the award bid for emulsion oil.
The emulsion's going to be for our chip seal program also on that. And our recommendation is for the CRS 2P to Suncor Energy at $2.81 a gallon. And that will be at their Pueblo plant. We do have emulsion trailers, so we will pick the material up and deliver to our job sites.
Okay.
You guys are going to be doing a lot of driving.
Yeah.
But again, you're watching out for taxpayers, so we appreciate this. Mr. Chair, I move to award this bid to CRS 2P emulsion to Suncor Energy of Pueblo at $2.81 per gallon, knowing, again, Fremont County will pick up from that plant.
Second.
Okay. Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Yeah, something, Mr. Chair. Tony, I just have a question for you. I noticed a lot of these just have two bids. Some of them have a few more. But how hard was it for these oil products? I think it was kind of iffy if you're even going to be available at times.
Yeah,
through
and that's
Suncor.
what the biggest issue is, especially with the asphalt, is the price. The way I have understood from our vendors is they will guarantee it for 30 days. And for them to actually bid, they're going to cover their expenses.
Yeah.
But we have to look at our dollar amount too and see what is available, you know, how much work we can actually do with that. Last year with our chip seal, it was very close to us not having product at the end of it. They were running out of their bulk product. And Suncor told us, you know, that they can't guarantee everything at the end. So we try to get it as accomplished as soon as we can.
Well, and I worry that the regulations and stuff and the new laws that they're pushing down, it's going to get worse and worse all the time. And this is stuff that we need to maintain and build our roads. So thanks for the work there, Tony.
You bet, anytime.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
We still need to do roll call.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Yeah, you can come on up. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is temporary use permit 23-001 for the Rocky Mountain Trials Association. Representative is Danny Wickersham.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Please present what you have in mind.
So we have our local event held on April 16th. That's just our local club event, probably about 40 participants or so. And then on May 27th and 28th is a national event. And last year we had this exact event scheduled, and we had 14 to 16 inches of snow, and every canopy in the pits was collapsed, and trees were falling on RVs, and it was horrible. So Colorado was on the hook again to redo this national, and it's thousands of man hours to set this event. And our club had put out, $3,000–4,000 in, setup fees. Not to mention all the people who traveled from all over America, to attend this event. So hopefully this year, we scheduled it a week later. Hopefully a week's not gonna, but it is Colorado. I don't know what else to say. We've been having events at this property for over 30 years. The RMTA has been in Colorado for over 50 years. So it's just a small motorcycle trials club. And to give some background, trials riding is not a racing event. Motorcycle trials is also known as observed trials. It's a non-speed event on specialized motorcycles. Our motorcycles, it's standing the whole time. There's no seats. It's just extreme balance. The event is split into sections where a competitor rides through an obstacle course while attempting to avoid touching the ground with their feet or any other part of their body. So if you're balanced and you lean against a tree or a rock with your elbow, they're going to get you for a point. The obstacles in the course may be of natural or constructed elements. We're on all natural terrain here. Sometimes they'll set up indoor trials events where it's all man-made obstacles. And if you ever see those on TV or the indoor stuff, it's pretty impressive, but so is the outdoor stuff. In all sections, regardless of content, the designated route is carefully contrived to test the skill of the rider. In many local observed trials events, the sections are divided into separate courses to accommodate the different skill level of riders who compete in skill-rated classes. So for this national event, you'll have a pro line, an expert line, a sportsman line. So there's 4 or 5 lines. So kind of like, not beginner, but our Colorado intermediate level, that's kind of where the nationals start, and then all the way up to the most extreme pro. In every section, the competitor is scored by an observer, hence the sport's name, observed trials, who counts how many times the competitor touches the ground with the foot or any other part of the body. Each time a competitor touches the ground with the foot, commonly called a dab, the penalty is 1 point. The possible scores in each section consist of 0, 1, 2, 3, or 5. If a competitor makes their way through the section without touching the ground with the foot, they earn a score of 0, which is called cleaning the section. That's what you want. If they touch the ground once, they receive a score of 1. If they touch twice, it's 2. If they touch 3 or more times, it's a 3. So you could touch 15 times and only get a 3. As long as they complete the section without stalling the motor. So if you stall the motor, sometimes you're good. You can be balanced, get your little Kickstarter out and start the bike, you're good. You see that sometimes. Some of the newer bikes have electric start, so that's kind of an advantage. So as long as they complete the section without stalling, dismounting, going out of bounds, or going backwards, you're not allowed to roll backwards. That's a 5. If the competitor fails to complete the section, a score of 5 is earned. The winner is the competitor with the fewest points at the end of the event. The rider will have, for the national, 90 seconds to complete. So as soon as the rider passes the gate, a whistle's blown, the clock is started, they have 90 seconds. For our club events, there's no time. It's just a lot lower key, but there's always an observer. For national sections, they're huge, so you'll have 3 observers usually per section. So.
Okay.
Any other questions? It's a great event if you want to come watch. Very nominal fees, to come out. Bring your hiking shoes, but you will be blown away by what these athletes are doing.
Wow. Okay. Fantastic. Any comments or questions for Danny?
Not at this time.
Okay.
I have been out there and watched this event. It's amazing watching those guys handle those bikes. It's worth the watch. It's cool.
How many people will be participating for the national?
For the national, we're thinking around 90. Around 90 folks. And I think our local club events are about 40, give or take, It's kind of diminished throughout the years, so probably 90.
At this time, we turn to our Planning and Zoning Director, Dan Victoria, for a report.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So this is TUP 23001, a Rocky Mountain Trials event. We have Danny Wickersham representing it. So the subject property this is going to take place on is located on County 9 in Canyon City. Property consists of 136 acres located in the Agricultural Forestry Zone District. This is the second year this event is requesting a TUP, but obviously due to weather last year, it didn't go as planned. The dates that this TUP would be covering would be that April 16th date, and then the May 27th and 28th dates are of the actual competitions in May. But camping is going to start on May 24th to allow all the folks from coming across the country to get there and be settled in prior to the event taking place. They have contracted services with Howard Disposal for dumpsters for both of the events. The applicant is requesting the use of chemical toilets for both of these events, so we would need a decision on that today as well. They are also requesting a surety bond waiver, as they're for at least the April 16th. They're a small local club. They give back to the community. So they're requesting a waiver because they're going to ensure that the site is kept clean in order to come back again. For comments being received, no departments had any concerns. We did not receive feedback from public health, but Amy has been out. It was sent to the people that have been assisting her position, but no response was received. So at this time, providing the use of chemical toilets is approved. Planning and Zoning makes the recommendation to approve this TUP to cover the April 16th date and then the time period from May 24th to May 28th, with the actual event being on the 27th and 28th.
Okay. And the waiver was for?
The surety bond.
Surety bond.
I am sure that if it was left to match, Joe Stock wouldn't invite him back. 100% sure of that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions for
I do have
Mr.
one.
Victoria?
Yes.
Please.
For either of you, I guess. I think it's addressed in here, but could you just regard food? Will there be any kind of food
No food
served,
vendors, no.
prepared? No food vendors at all?
No, people are self-sufficient.
Okay.
A lot of RVs, people coming in. We take the whole, one of Joe's hay fields, and that's where the pits are. And sadly, with all that moisture last year, everyone having to leave really rutted out that field. So the scar is still there. We offered, we're still working with Joe, hey, we'll pay you guys to whatever you need to do, but they didn't feel it was that bad, but they're a great family.
That was a terrible storm, and so hopefully we will have better weather for you this year, so
Like rain would be
everyone
fine.
can see both sides of Colorado.
It's a matter of opinion. I like the wet, heavy snow, just not for your event.
Not particularly on that date.
Was that in May last year as well?
Yeah, May 13th and 14th, or 20th and 21st last year, yeah.
20th and 21st.
And like Thursday was like 70-some degrees. And then Friday, towards Friday evening, it started getting cooler. And all these out-of-staters are asking, do you really think it's going to snow? And it's like, I don't know. And I woke up that next morning and was like, oh my goodness.
Tree branches everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. This is not an official public hearing, but it is open and available for public comment if there is anyone here that would wish to address us on this agenda item. Not seeing any. Is there any further discussion or questions for Mr. Victoria or Mr. Wickersham?
I have just one concern before a motion, Mr. Chair, and
Please.
that's as Justin thought I wasn't going to get this in. It's really dry out there.
Correct.
And I have a worry about the fire concerns, and the fire department has noted in the application either that it's high fire danger.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you guys will be very diligent with that, but I just want to caution again that it is really dry
Very
out
dry,
there.
absolutely.
You drive an hour to the west and they're covered in snow
I
that
know.
you can't see over the top, but here it's very, very dry. So the fuels are going to be very dry, and you're kind of in those dry cedar trees and whatnot. So I think any opportunity you have to keep that from happening, we appreciate that.
Absolutely. Spark arresters, any West series, spark arresters are required.
Anything other than 16 inches of snow on the day before?
Yeah. And I have a motion if ready.
Please.
I move to approve TUP 23-001 for Rocky Mountain Trails Association. It is a temporary use permit for club event April 16th, 2023, and then another national event being held May 24th through May 28th, with the approval of chemical toilets for the event and a waiver for the surety bond.
Second.
Okay. Did we get everything in that motion? All right. Has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner McFall.
Aye.
Commissioner Bell.
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, man.
Good
Have
luck.
fun.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we have an appointment of a new member to the 4-H Sale Committee with a term ending December 31, 2023.
We can talk about this just a second.
Sure.
And then what it is, we had a couple of openings left on the sales committee, and those openings are to fill positions of folks that have resigned. So that's why the term ends at the end of this year, and then this person is eligible to re-up for another term, which would be a 3-year term.
So as normal, Mr. Chair, we advertise these positions that are available, and we have applicants come to us. So we do have an applicant from a gentleman named Kevin Montanez, who also goes by Nick, and he has expressed interest. He wants to volunteer for this. He's been involved in 4-H for a while, and I think he has a really good background for this. So, Mr. Chair, with that, I move to appoint Kevin Nick Montanez as a new member to the 4-H Sales Committee with a term ending December 31st of 2023.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Bell,
Aye.
Commissioner McFall,
Aye.
Commissioner Grantham.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And that concludes our business for the day. If there is no further business for this board to cover, we are adjourned.